Hi everyone, Rena here. Welcome to the Mama Elephant October release. Today we're going to first take a look at Holly Berry. This is a bold graphic stamp set. It has two different types of foliage. Also take note that there's letters, and that just shows you which stem goes with which particular stamp. The stamp set also includes a little berry. You can stamp that berry out on your card wherever you wanted multiple times, or if you purchase the coordinating dies, there's a spot on the die where you can stamp the little berry on after you cut it out. Here's a look at the coordinating dies for Holly Berry. You can see the two bottom foliage have that little area where you can stamp the berry out afterwards. Here's a look at Back to Basics ovals. That's B2B ovals. I did use, I think, the third or the fourth oval to create backgrounds for the cards we're going to be making today. Mom Elephant is also releasing some coordinating dies for some past stamp sets. These are the lettered stamp sets by Paula Esteron. It's the Wishing You set, the Merry Christmas set, also Just a Note. This will cut out the large scale sentiment on those stamp sets. These looked so fantastic after I cut them out, and we did use them on every single card. So here's a look at Holly Berry. I'm just going to stamp this out. I'm going to use it as some embellishment for the cards we're making today. I feel like I sound sad, but I'm really just trying not to cough because every time I open my mouth, I feel like coughing. So I'm just laying down all the different foliage stamps. I'm also taking note of which one is A, B, or C, just so I can pair up the matching stems later on. I'm just going to stamp the leaves in green, and then later on I will be stamping the stems in a gray color. I stamped it out in gray because I wanted it to coordinate with the colors on the card that it was going to go on. I'm also using washi tape to tape down my paper. I literally can't find my magnets, and also my magnets are not, I have like aftermarket magnets, and they don't work as well as the ones that come with the Misty. But I just literally can't find the Misty ones or my aftermarket ones, and so I'm just washi taping it. And I like washi taping my paper to the Misty anyways because it just feels more solid to me than using magnets. I will be stamping out the stems next, and they're marked with A, B, or C on the stamp set. And I did take note earlier of which foliage was A, B, and C. And so now I'm pairing the stems up with the foliage, and then I'll be stamping that out in gray. I just wanted it to match the colors of my card. That's why I'm not doing it in black. I did stamp out the little berry next just so you could see what the shape of the berry was. But if you were to not use the coordinating dies and stamp directly on your paper, then you could just stamp the berry wherever you wanted. If you were going to use the coordinating dies, I would cut it out first and then stamp the berry on top of the die cut. I was running out of ink, so I ended up coloring the berry using Copic markers because, as you can see, my ink pad is totally dry. I've had this ink pad for so many years, so I think it's finally dying. But I do like using Copic markers on die cuts. I think I always forget to do that, and I recently did that, and I'm like, why haven't I done this before? The stamp sets are already out for the next 3 dies we're going to be featuring. So this Wishing You is a previously released stamp set, but Mama Elephant is now releasing the coordinating die to go with that giant sentiment. And I cut each of them out, and they're so beautiful. I love it. I love stamping them out in different colors. I love the Just a Note one, especially. I like all the flourishes on it. And I really love the Merry Christmas one a lot. I remember last year Vera made a card using it, and I literally had to buy it because I didn't have that stamp set. And I literally had to get it right away because I liked how it was written out. I like how, um, like fun it looks. So I had to get it right when I saw that she used it on a card. Here's a look at Back to Basics ovals. They're just nested oval dies in different sizes. I decided to use one of the larger ones as a background for all of my cards. For this first card, I wanted to use the Holly Berry stamp set. So I'm using the oval as the backdrop, and then I'm going to frame that oval with some of the foliage, and then I'm also making that Merry Christmas cut, die cut, the focal point of the card. So there won't be any critter images on this card, it's hard for me not to make a card without a critter on it. But this one is just the sentiment and the foliage is like the focal point, and I really liked how it turned out. I think that die cut, it's so impressive. I love it so much. Um, and this is kind of like a loose, kind of easy card. So I'm just putting the glue like kind of only in the middle so that Merry Christmas can layer over on top of that foliage. So, on one of my lunch breaks a couple of weeks ago, I went on a coloring frenzy. I had so much leftover images that I stamped, and I just really felt like coloring. So, the next images I had colored all on a lunch break because I liked these stamp sets a lot, so I wanted to color them again. So, I figured that I would use them on these cards because I had already colored them and all I needed to do was die cut them. So this next one, we're just doing the same thing with the oval. I did do like a little bit of a landscape snowbank, and I use I think they're the wavy borders dies to cut that out. And these two images are the smaller images from the You've Got Mail stamp set that was released last month for the anniversary release. I'm going to be using the Just a Note die cut on this. I had just stamped it out in a gray color, and I loved it. I loved that card so much. So this next card, I I'm just kind of using the same formula, and then for the images, I'm just kind of making them work. I'm just like putting them like where they'll fit, because I wanted to use like mostly all of them. So this one I thought because the Santa was holding a wreath that it'd be cute up on top. And then I'm using the Wishing You stamp set. And I had a bunch of these from Secret Santa, which released last month for the big anniversary release. And I'm going to put like a bunch of Santas together at the bottom. I loved it. I loved coloring these Santas so much. Um, and that's just it. Just a simple card. I think the sentiment, it just makes the card. It looks so nice because it's so large and it's so beautiful. And the final card here, I'm using Busy Elves, and I just colored a ton of them. And I wasn't sure how many I could jam pack into a card, but we did our best. We still had like 3 left over, but I couldn't find a way to fit them. So this one, I figured I put the sentiment on the bottom for a change. And then I'm just trying to jam pack like all that I can as far as the elves. I colored them in like red and green, but I used the ones that had more red in them for the images that I'm using. And after I adhered that one, I'm like, we need one more. So I was able to fit one more. I thought I would put him behind that oval die cut. And that is it. I'm calling these cards done. I will be adhering these to card bases off camera, but I loved how they turned out. I love making cards like this, like super easy, just like having a main focal point clean. I love it. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have an awesome day. Stay safe, happy crafting. Make sure you join me tomorrow for the last video. We'll be featuring a fun set from Ada Zamora. I will see you guys later. Bye, guys.